This podcast is sponsored by BB Makes, a family-run personalised gift company. From sports bottles to team merchandise, BB Makes has you covered. They will happily work with you to create unique designs for your perfect gift, with a wide range of products, all able to be personalised with names, quotes, pictures and much more. Head over to bbmakes.com. That's www.bebemakes.com and use the code COIS so they know that we sent you. Oh, and of course, come on you Spurs.
Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam, and joining me today to be my emotional support animal for all things Tottenham, it's Stefan.
Yeah, I think we all need one at the moment. Wow.
I do, yeah. If you could choose one animal in the whole animal kingdom to be your emotional support animal, i.e. it's there for you, you know, you're not going to pick like a lion and it will eat you, but it's going to be there for you. What animal would you choose?
One of those little, sugar gliders, sugar something?
What?
The,
You've literally just named an animal from the planet I've never heard of.
No!
A sugar glider. I think that's a sweet.
No, wait, I'm looking it up now. Yeah, sugar glider.
Why would you choose something so obscure?
Oh, they're amazing. They're like the little things, the fluffy tail, and they jump off things and open up their arms, and they've got like a little wing suit on, and they glide down and land in your hand. They're about the size of your hand. They're really cute.
I was going to choose.
Want one.
I was going to choose just like a cat. I'm now going to choose a tiger to eat that friggin' thing that you picked because that's just annoying me now.
No,
that's stupid.
I know we're podcasting and it doesn't help the audience, but I have just sent you a picture of one. They're so cute.
Right, everyone, bear with me. Everyone, Google what the hell a sugar glider. I don't know about you sometimes.
It's so cute. Look at his little
It's
eyes.
a flying rat.
No, it's way cuter than that.
Okay. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody.
Wow,
yeah.
We started on a tangent. That's impressive.
Yeah, so this is episode 247 of the Spurs News Podcast. If you've been around for a number of those, then you will come to expect this kind of lunacy. If you are new, and I keep getting messages from people like, hey, I kind of like the show, but kind of feel like I'm not getting any of the jokes. Apologies. So yeah, hello and welcome, and we try to stick to a sort of an outline of things to discuss, and I'm looking at the the kind of outline now. We're going to start with, and then we're going to move away from. So we're going to start with the Brighton game. So we record this on a Friday. We adjusted our schedule to do this on a Friday because we returned to Europe this year, so we would be one of the first shows to do like a next day reaction to Thursday night results, which funnily enough was when this show started. That's what we were doing, but anyway, so we made that adjustment, and then we moved it to Thursdays because we were playing Wednesday nights, and anyways, it's a whole thing. But so that's why we did it. But also, from my point of view, it allows me to get perspective on results that have really pissed me off. Now, if of course we get a really bad result in Europe, you're going to hear me friggin' unleash one day. But
oh gosh, yeah.
I've had a good amount of time to really kind of let that Brighton defeat sink in, to really take in all of the reaction, really kind of, you know, Ange's reaction, fan reaction, the player reaction. I've kind of had all of this time. I'm still so pissed off. It's like I'm. But the thing is, and this is the thing that I think might throw a lot of people. I'm not pissed off like looking at individuals. I'm not pissed off looking at Ange. I mean, I'm pissed off at everything. But what I'm kind of really I don't know, just kind of freaking out in my brain about is the fact that this sets a Premier League record. Did you see this stat?
I did. Tottenham Hotspur winning trophies everywhere we go. Or awards and records.
So yeah. Drop the trophy jokes. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got into that on the Facebook page the other day. It's like, why as a Tottenham fan is it funny that when we post something to make a trophy joke? I don't get it. Like, we get enough shit from every other fan base and journalist in the country, in Europe, in the world.
The fact that our own fans now do it. Yeah, no, that's why I did it. I saw the Facebook stuff. I thought I had to.
Oh, did you? You saw that and you thought, oh, that's pissed him off. I'll do that now as well.
I'll get that.
Isn't that nice of you?
Well, I thought it'd give you a chance
my emotional support animal.
Yeah, I thought it'd give you a chance to explain about it.
No, it's fine. You decided to pick on me. I get it. So, like I was saying, I've had this sort of time and I've looked at it and we set this new stat. So the stat, for anyone who missed it, and apologies, I know this is painful, but that was the 10th time in Premier League history, so since Opta began recording, that we have been 2 or more goals up and then lost the game. Now, that is the 10th time. We are the first team to get there. And that means we've done it more than any other team in Premier League history.
Which genuinely surprises me. Like, that's one of those stats where it surprises me in two ways. It surprises me that no other Premier League team has let a 2-0 lead go more than 10 times. Like that, you see some of the results and stuff that come up. Like, Everton have done it twice this season already. Yeah. And we're only 6 games in. So the fact that we're the only team to do it 10 times was a real, wow, I think a key thing is 2 or more goals and lost. Yeah. There are a lot of teams who surrender 2 or more goals and end up drawing, but 2 or more goals and lost the game. Also, another factor is we've been in the Premier League since day one. A lot of teams who have been promoted, relegated and stuff like that possibly could be rivaling us for this stat, but aren't in the Premier League and have left it. So, in the Premier League era, we're trend-setting. We are now 3 clear of the nearest clubs who are close to us, Everton being one of them, back there on 7 times. That just shocks me, only 7. Like, the number, as though it sounds really bad, but the numbers don't seem high enough. Like, the Premier League has been around since 1992? It's roughly. But the thing to remember is, not many teams... see, we as Tottenham fans see this, and we're kind of like, yeah, because you're saying you're surprised by that. I'm surprised it's only 10. Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like it happens 10 times a year to us. Exactly. Like, I feel like the numbers should be a lot higher. But they're not. No. In the league, so in the Premier League, so obviously cup games and stuff not included, but in the Premier League, in the Premier League era, that is a stat that is just brutal, and I got so fed up with it. Now, the term Spursy gets thrown around, and it's one I've always hated. Yeah. For all the obvious reasons of why anyone would hate that term. It feels lazy. Like, what is the problem going on? Oh, it's just Spursy. Oh, they've just gone fully Spursy. Now, the thing with this, that the reason why I'm even mentioning it at all is because what this shows me is this has happened 10 times in the Premier League era, which is like you said, that's 1992. That's a long time. And of all the clubs in the Premier League that were the highest for this, so to a certain extent, we do deserve a tag. It does deserve to be a kind of, well, that's stupid. That's very Tottenham. Lads, it's just Tottenham. I've seen this big thing this week about, what did the Brighton boss say to his players at half time? Well, he's come out and said it. He said if we get a goal, they'll fold. Yeah. And that is a belief. That means that every team in the Premier League, every team who plays us, know in their brains, even if they're 2-3-0 down at half time, if we get one back, they'll fold. That's not a good thing to have against you. No. Now I talked a little bit about this, about the Man United game. And what I was saying was I didn't get to enjoy that. And the reason why I didn't get to enjoy this is because I have this inbuilt thing
from years and years and years of supporting this club, of even though we were 3-0 up against 10 men, if they scored, I'd have just been like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And this, what happened against Brighton, as aggravating as that is, just kind of helped me make that point, because a number of people messaged in going, oh my God, you didn't get to enjoy a 3-0 win, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, Tottenham's what's wrong with me.
I've been a fan of Tottenham all my life, trust me. Yeah.
Like, I genuinely believe I could sit down with a therapist, and that therapist would be like, oh yeah, this is the reason why you have trust issues. And it could well be accurate.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of players that have said they love the club and left. There is my trust issues.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got abandonment issues and all sorts. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
But I just look at this and I look at this result against Brighton, and it just kind of reinforced that feeling that is there in the pit of my stomach in every game, which is, it doesn't matter how well we're playing, it doesn't matter how many goals we've scored, I still do not feel safe in a victory until the referee's blown the whistle.
Goals change.
And even then it takes me a minute. Even then it takes me a minute. Like, the whistle goes and I'm like, oh, we won. Bloody hell.
The whole,
we could have been,
thank fuck first, and then,
we could have been demolishing a team for 90 minutes, 4-0 up, and I'd still only relax at the final whistle. Now, that's odd.
Yes.
Like, I'm
really, sorry, but yes.
Like, yeah, but like I've been chatting to people, like, I've got a friend who's a gooner, and I'm like, I'm relaying this, and looking at me like, what? I'm like, do you never get, like, no. Never, like, just turned 40, my friend who's a gooner, and she literally looked at me like I was crazy, like, no, never had that feeling ever. And I'm looking at her like, you bitch. I can't imagine being a football fan and never having that level of anxiety, and that's down the top.
Yeah, I listened to the Rest Is Football with like Gary Lineker, Micah Richards, and Alan Shearer, and they discussed. It must be in the beginning of the week. They were talking about the football results and stuff.
Yeah,
and Micah Richards kind of really ripped into this whole Spursy nickname. Like he's proper against it as well. He's like, every year a team gets to finals and loses. Yeah, they're not given some stupid nickname. No. Why are they? Like, why do we get the stupid nickname? Like, you know, and it's so true. Like, Arsenal for the last 2 seasons have absolutely bottled the league. There's no one going round going, oh, Arsey.
I don't know. I've said worse.
Yeah, no. but it seems like Tottenham lose something. Oh, it's Spursy, and it's like why is that Spursy? Like, it's so annoying.
I don't.
And
then
we get a stat like that where we're the biggest team, like the most we've done it. And I'm like, oh, that could be a reason.
Yeah, I was about to say now. The reason why I wanted to discuss it, and the reason why I brought up the Spursy tag and the fact this tag does exist, is because if you look at the fact that this has happened over a long period of time, think in your mind for just a second how many sets of players, so individual squads, throughout the Premier League era there have been, how many different managers / head coaches there have been, and coaching teams, entire setups there have been. And in that entirety of that entire span of time, no one, other than brief glimpse under Pochettino, has been able to throw that tag away. Now, we can talk about mentality of the players, right? And we can talk about, oh, they weren't this, they weren't that, they weren't that. And on the day, they all switched off. And all of them can look at each other and they should know that and wonder why it happened. Another stat for you. Our last 4 games before international breaks, we've lost.
Yes, now that one surprised me a lot, this one, because the players who kind of had a good first half, poor second half, like Maddison didn't do great. Pedro Porro didn't play great. Neither of those two are away on international duty.
Yeah, they are.
Pedro Porro is now, but he got called up because of an injury. But
no, he didn't. He was in the squad.
I thought he got called up from an injury. Someone told me it was an injury. Okay. Well, even Maddison.
That person lied to you.
Maddison, Werner, neither of them in international squads.
No.
So I don't think it's a case of switching off to not get injured for an international. I think it's also a case of 2 weeks off.
Well, they don't get that.
Well, no, but it's get through the last 45 minutes, and then we're we're away. There must be a mentality thing somewhere to have lost the last 4 games before international breaks. Like,
well
there's
massively,
got to be something there.
But if you walk through that team, Vicario's going away with Italy, Udogie at left back's going away with Italy, Van der Ven's going away with the Netherlands, Romero's going away with Argentina, Pedro Porro at right back's going away with Spain. So our back 5 are all leaving.
Yep.
They're 2-0 up in a game. We were coasting, and I genuinely believe all of them switched off, because that is the worst second half performance from all of those players I've seen in Tottenham shirts. Vicario, I feel like I'm being a little bit harsh on, because those 3 goals I don't think 2 keepers could have saved. You know, they were very clinical in their finishing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah,
to say
missing that's such a simple clearance.
All of it was
like that clearance. He probably does that 2-3 times every game.
All of it was concentration.
Yeah.
All of it was just they weren't focused.
And the bit that worried me more than probably anything else in that game was that they scored and we kind of went, oh. And then they equalised and everyone kind of went, oh. And then they scored the winner and everyone kind of went, oh. No one kind of, they scored and no one went, oh shit, right, okay, we need to get on the ball and control the game for 5 minutes. Or, oh shit, they've equalised. Right, okay, we really need to get ourselves together here and right, let's just batten down the hatches. They've got a second, they're going to be going for a third. Let's just get on the ball. Let's just kick the ball into row Z every time. Let's just break the play up, stop their rhythm, start again. That was what worried me. There was none of that. We just kept going through the exact same motions which gave them the first 2 goals. And it was like,
well,
why are we
not total
clicking up? Like, come on, someone grab someone by the freaking collar and go, oi, like, let's get going again. And there was nothing at all. And I'm like, shit.
Well,
where's the leadership?
I just said.
Well,
it was total capitulation because they don't completely shut off.
And then couldn't get
so it was all shell
again.
shock.
Yeah. Once they shut off, there was no kick up again, which kind of worries me. Is that a leadership issue? Is it a mentality? Like, where's the person kicking everyone up the arse?
Well, so here's the thing I was trying to circle round to.
Yeah.
I just said then a minute ago, this is an ongoing problem for Tottenham, which has existed for the entire Premier League era. So we are the team that are the most that does this. So that is countless squads, countless managers, countless coaching teams have all had this same problem. How can that be? If you think about that just for a moment, logically, how can that possibly be that this club has gone through all of those players, all of these things, and these players, like, let's just pick out QT Romero for a moment. QT Romero this season has been okay, but nothing amazing.
Yeah.
He is regarded by probably the people on the planet who are the biggest experts in football as one of the best centre halves in world football. Yes. Genuinely, like,
no, you're right. You are right.
I had this come up as well. Like, my opinion on him is my opinion as a fan. Your opinion is opinion of a fan. People, the Spurs fans, I saw the other day when I posted about him saying, "Oh, selling me shit." All right, fine.
I saw that. Yeah.
Right, so this is opinions of fans, and that's fine. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. We can all have those opinions, and my opinion's no more valid than yours. Yours is no more valid than mine. But I do think when you have pundits, ex-players, Lionel Messi, who I think is probably the greatest player of all time, and you've got person after person after person looking at him going, yeah, he's probably the best central defender on the planet, or one of. Yeah. And you've got the top clubs in world football like Real Madrid, etc., wanting to sign him. I think regardless of your opinion as an armchair fan, you have to go, oh, okay, he is good then. Because otherwise, what's the point? Yeah, I can look at, I don't rate him as highly. I think he's a little bit overrated. Well, overrated by who? Because he's being overrated then by the top football experts on the planet, and you're what? So let's just park that to one side and just say, like, and that's not me digging people out from an opinion. Yeah. I've got opinions on players that differ from experts, but at the end of the day, I've got to look at it and go, well, they're probably right. This is what I think. Yeah. But they are an expert. It's like me arguing with an astrophysicist over like star constellations. It's pointless. I can look at it and have an opinion. He's the friggin' expert. Like, yeah, but it's not that, it's this. And I'm going, yeah, but I think this. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's like a flat earther debate. It's like going, the Earth's flat, and the guy's going, well, here's a picture showing it's not. Yeah, but it is, though, isn't it? Yeah, but that's photoshopped. Well, what isn't photoshopped? Cutie Romero holding the World Cup.
Yeah.
Holding the Copa America twice. So, the guy is a winner. Like, literally, he's got an elite mentality for that. You look at Argentina, the way he plays, etc. And when he plays for us, and you see him as the vice captain or the captain on the day, and he's talking to the players, and he's got them in the huddle, and he's laying it all down, etc., and he's talking to everybody. You listen to some interviews where they're talking about, yeah, he's very clear communicator, very, very, wants us to do this, wants us to play like this, and he's focused and driven. In that second half, he vanished. Like, he genuinely... And I think it's one of those situations where he could look back at that and just be like, I haven't, like, what the hell happened? But he, along with everyone, just appeared to be looking at each other in this kind of like, what is going on? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
You ever watch Space Jam when all the ability of the basketball players was drained away?
Yeah.
It was like at half time, some Brighton fan used this ancient curse, and all of our players' just natural ability to do anything vanished. And why I'm bringing this up in a kind of bigger term is because this isn't the first time I've had this conversation.
No.
I remember watching Pochettino's team with Vertonghen and Alderweireld. They were the best central defensive pairing in the league.
Yep.
We conceded the least goals in a season with them. And yet I remember one game in particular, us being, I think it was 2-0 up, and it finished 2-2. And it was like they just completely switched off.
Yeah.
Like completely. I mean, you could look at the Battle of the Bridge. I mean, I personally still loved that game because I loved us kicking the shit out of Chelsea. But we were 2-0 up in that game and it finished 2-2.
Yeah.
Like, we could, our mentality went, I mean, it went in a different way, but again, so why is it, and I'm going to put this to you as like I have a theory, and it's one that makes me really unpopular, but why is it you think that, because we can have all of these players, and we've had some incredible players over the years who have won stuff before us, won stuff after us, won stuff as an international whilst being with us, and yet do not have that same elite mentality when in a Tottenham shirt?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I honestly, I don't know, but it's really bloody worrying. Like, we've had players that go out on loan, win things, come back and do nothing for us. Like, it's got to start at the top, isn't it? I know, I guarantee we're going to get emails slagging us off for saying it, but surely the mentality starts at the very top.
Well, this is my theory. So this is my this is the thing that is like interesting. So I've said this before, and I know a few people are going to roll their eyes like this. I never made it as a football player. I love football, but I was a rugby player.
Yeah.
And I got this very, very brief sort of glimpse into the professional world of what professional rugby would have been. And in that very, very brief glimpse, one of the things I was learning very, very quickly is, as enthusiastic as I was a young player, as enthusiastic, I wanted to do all this. I got taken to one side by a sort of old timer, if you like, in the squad, who basically just looked at me and went, "Look, calm down." And I was like, what? He's like, "Look, this ain't it. Like, this ain't the club that does that. This ain't the club that goes out and wins. This is, like, calm down. You're making the rest of us look like slow or stuff that you're so freaking enthusiastic." And I like, it really kind of like hit me, like, for a while. Like, I was there to win.
Yeah.
I was there to win every single week, make my mark, become a professional, stay a professional, maybe one day play for, I had all this ambition.
Yeah.
And there I am, probably in my third week, signed with them, like some guy like in his late 20s taking me to one side and being like, no, that's not what it is here. Now, that's always stuck with me from that kind of thing. I never went any further. I wasn't good enough. But when I look at this with Tottenham, and I sort of think to myself, like, what is going on there? What is this kind of mentality? And we've talked about it in the past, and I used Chelsea under Roman Abramovich as kind of an example. And all right, just for this, we're going to forget that he was a money laundering bastard, right? We're just going to forget that.
Yeah.
And what we're going to focus on was his win at all costs mentality, which meant that he was a ruthless son of a bitch. So if under Roman they signed a player for a world record fee and he was crap, What did they do?
Oh, he was gone. Next transfer window. See you later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't matter
you've
how
lost
much they
30
lost.
million on him. Yeah, but he's gone.
Didn't matter. He was crap. He didn't do it for us. If they had a manager who won them everything one season but was struggling the next, what did they do?
Sacked him.
Yeah. Didn't matter what you've done in the past.
Roberto Di Maria, wasn't he?
Di Matteo, yeah.
Di Matteo,
won them the Champions League, yeah.
Came in as one of the Champions League. Next season, didn't start the season too well, and he was gone after like half a season. It was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, it literally doesn't matter. It is what have you done for me now was the mentality all of the time. Now, I see, this is one of those things. I want it to be, I don't want to ever be like that. Like for me, it sounds stupid. It's like I don't want my football club to be that level of like that. Like for me, when Pochettino started struggling, it was the time for the board to sit down with him and go, why are we struggling? We trust you. Tell us. And when he said, look, these players are now past it, and we need to do a massive overhaul, they should have gone, right, so this season we need to write off and we need to do this. Yeah, okay, well, that's what we're going to do. That's what should have happened in my heart and in my mind, because I believe we would have been better for it. But we didn't. They went, oh, this squad's great. Manager's clearly gone to shit. Right, off he goes.
Yeah.
And we all know that it was then shit for 4 years. And now we're in this position where Ange has got to try and rebuild the squad. Now, again, just leaving the squad rebuild over there for a second.
Yep.
This long-term issue must be that the very, very top of this football club, Daniel Levy, the chairman, the people like that, do not have, despite everything they say in interviews, do not have the ambition to win. Like Daniel Levy can sit there and, I could sit down, I could talk to Daniel Levy face to face, and I believe that he would come across as someone who is driven, who is focused, who is 24/7 for this football club. I genuinely believe all of that. But at the same time, I do not believe if I strapped him to a lie detector and I said to him, right, Daniel, what would be a successful season for you, he'd even mention a trophy. I think he is a businessman who has done incredibly well for Tottenham Hotspur in every sense other than trophies, and I believe the reason for that is that's not his focus. His focus is like growing the brand of Tottenham Hotspur. It's about this football club having this financial powerhouse base, about having all these things, and that is his sole focus.
Yeah.
And like you said, this has to come down from the top. Now, if the very top of this football club is solely focused on that, which they have been, and don't get me wrong, in the last couple of seasons there have been changes made to the structure at the club which could change this. Now, that to me is where our problem is, because if you're a player and you're earning, fairly decent money and you're at the club and you're looking around and you're like, where is the kind of sword of Damocles over my head that says, if I'm not perfect for this team, that I'm out of it? Where is this kind of issue? Where is my kind of problem? And because it's so embedded at the club now, there is no pressure on them to that regard. There is no win at all costs pressure. There is no kind of. You mentioned you listened to the Gary Lineker kind of show. There's a show with Gary Neville which I listen to, which has got Ian Wright, Roy Keane.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's called The Overlap, and
I need to get into that because I've heard a lot of good things.
Well, it basically should be called the Man United Chat Show, but
right.
I mean, but it makes me smile. I mean, because obviously most of their guests are going to be ex-Man United players because that's who they know. So it doesn't bother me. And yeah, I mean, you'd love it because you're a Man United fan, so you'd get right.
How many
into
emails
it,
did you get about that? I hope you got some
loads.
Shit.
Yeah,
I hope you got some shit for it.
No, I got nothing. Everyone loved it. Everyone was like, "Oh my god,
sake.
thank you so much for exposing that closet United fan." And I said, "You wait until we play West Ham, and I'll expose him for that as well." So, but anyway, so when
such an ass.
yeah, I know. But they talk a lot about the mentality at Manchester United and how that's not there anymore. And it's like funny to me because like I'm looking at this and I'm going, Man United have won 2 trophies in the last 2 seasons. They won the League Cup and the FA Cup. For us, if Ange Postecoglou had won like the League Cup and the FA Cup the following season,
we'd all be very
we'd all be like we are going somewhere. We are on the right track to get somewhere. we have started winning trophies. For them and their experience of being a Manchester United player, that's not what that is. That's a step back. Because their pure focus, a bit like Liverpool's was years ago, is the league title. It's like, if we're not winning league titles, we're not good. We are not what we should be.
Yeah.
So whereas I'm looking at Manchester United right now going, yeah, they're not the team that they used to be, but they've won 2 trophies in 2 years. They're backing a manager. They're rebuilding. They're moving in the direction. I'm not a Man United fan, so I don't care. I don't watch them every week. Unlike you.
I don't.
But as a Tottenham fan,
yeah.
But as like a Tottenham fan, I'd see that as I'd see this as, okay, we're starting to get that mentality. We're starting to get that we're going to win things. We're starting to move in the right direction. So it's interesting how, like, their perception and their discussion over the culture at the club when they were there, it was like, because they had a very brief conversation about so the show yesterday. They had a very brief conversation about the Tottenham Brighton game.
Yeah.
And all of them were just like, oh, it was stunning. Like, the old adage, game of 2 halves has never been like... And they were talking a lot about Ange. And they were just like, there's no... Like, that must have hit him out of nowhere. Like, there's no way you could see that coming.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of criticism levelled at Ange for not making subs at different moments and doing things. And I'm going to hold my hands up and say, yeah, I think you can be fair and I think you can be critical. But I will also say, I genuinely believe in my heart, he was shocked. And I think he possibly, in that moment, in a kind of shocked did freeze a little bit. Because I think he's human. I'm human, you're human. And there are times... I'll tell you, there's something me and my daughter always... Right, this is a bit tangent. Me and my daughter always say, she said, why is it in films and TV, someone's got like a car coming towards them and they stand still? Just move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because your brain freezes.
It's literally deer in headlights, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I said, you naturally... I said, in real life, I will tell you, through experience in my life, I stepped out on the road once and got hit by a car. That has happened to me. When I was hammered drunk, a similar thing happened, and I jumped the car. It was a Mini, and I jumped, and I managed to go over the roof and land on my feet. It was amazing. Could never do it again.
Yeah.
But, because I was pissed, I thought I could do it. When I was stone cold sober a few years earlier, I got like level, because I looked there in headlights. I was like, oh my God, and I just froze.
Yeah.
Makes no logical sense. I should have jumped back to the curb or ran forward. A million things, but in that seconds... it freezes.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe, and it's a human thing, and I genuinely believe he was so shocked and so kind of, what the is going on, that it was what? We conceded 3 goals in 11 minutes?
It was something
minutes?
stupid, yeah.
And if you think about that in like a whole context of a game, he probably was there like, okay, we conceded 1. Okay, this is, all right, we'll shake this off. You know, you're not... If he overreacted in that moment, then there's no... So he's not going to overreact. Everyone stay calm. They've scored 1. Like
yeah,
you
it was
said.
about 15 minutes.
Take control.
48th minute, 58th minute, 66th minute.
Okay, so like quarter of an hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so still like...
So
bang,
basically,
bang, bang.
he's basically like gone, okay, we conceded 1. Fuck, that's not what we wanted. But, like you said... Okay, calm heads, everyone. You know, play our football. Because that's the way Ange is. Like, play our football. You know, don't worry. We've been tearing them apart for 45 minutes. There's no reason to believe. Polynesian Dan in our chat, me and him just fucked this game for everyone, and I apologise. Because I said when we were 2-0 up, I feel like we're going to lose this game. I was having that kind of feeling again.
Yeah.
To which you bollocked me for, because then we went 3-2 down. Polynesian Dan went, well, we've been ripping them apart for the first half. You've got to believe we're going to get chances in the second. We didn't generate fuck all.
No.
Now both of us had every reason to say what we said. Me, because I've explained my sheer Tottenham anxiety I have. And he's watched this game, and he's right. We were ripping him a new arsehole the whole game. These players playing the way they play, playing our football.
Yeah.
So if you're Ange and we've just conceded that goal, it's probably, okay, all right, everyone, calm heads, play our game. Then it's gone 2-2. Now at that point, do you hit the panic button and go, right, we're going to change that? Probably not, because it's happened quick fire, and you're like, right, okay, again, everyone, right, it's 0-0 again. Just go out and win the game from here.
Yeah. Start playing our stuff. Never stop. Start playing our stuff. Let's go again.
And then we went 3-2 down, and he did make changes. And everyone's critical. And again, I think that's fair. I think you can be critical of that. I'm just saying, I think genuinely, you only got to look at him after the game to realise that rocked him. Like, he said, like, he's like, for me, that's the worst that's happened, because we were so dominant, so in control, and everybody switched off. Nobody was interested. Everyone was just kind of, I wonder what they're serving for tea later. It was bizarre. But like I said, I think, like you said, it comes down from the very top. I think players in this squad, players at Tottenham Hotspur, know they don't have to win at all costs to be a Tottenham player.
Top 4, lads. Challenge top 4. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also Rans is perfectly acceptable to be at this club. But when they go away, like QT arrives at Argentina, you don't win, that's not acceptable.
He's not turning up with Argentina and they're going, right, lads, quarterfinals. Let's just make sure.
No, it's not happening.
No.
So, whereas when you go away on England duty, it's like being at Tottenham. Solanke's like, this is home.
I mean, let's just take a couple of seconds to talk about England played Greece last night. Dom Solanke. You
can talk about this. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it. I did. Dom Solanke gets his first call-up after 7 years.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is injured, not fit.
Yeah.
As he was for the whole Euros. We don't talk about that.
No.
And therefore, he was not going to be played against Greece. Maybe play against Finland.
Yeah.
So you're then looking at that and going, okay, so chances are Ollie Watkins is going to start, which means Dom Solanke is going to come off the bench, probably with about half hour or so left, and get a decent amount. And then he names a lineup with no strikers at all. Now,
he did.
If I'm Ange or Emery at Aston Villa, I would be on the phone to my strikers going, right, that's a piss take. You can have a slight muscle strain, come home, don't bother. Don't fucking risk it. If the manager can't even be asked to play a striker when you're there, just fucking injure yourself. Little muscle injury, come back, we'll look after you. Make sure you're ready for the weekend.
No.
Fucking hell. If anyone 3 strikers and you don't start one, that's ridiculous.
If anyone listening had any doubts that he's a closet Man United fan, just listen to his Ferguson-esque speech. Just listen to that, alright? Closet United fan. No, all the evidence is there. But I mean, he came on, got an assist. He
got the assist. He played well when he came on. For the lack of anything that the forwards got in that game, he done very well.
Yeah. Right, we need to crack on. We got other stuff to do. One of those things we've got to do is this. Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
We're starting with Facebook, and we're listening or hearing from Tom Perks, who says, a quick appreciation for Ben Davies. The consummate professional has come in and done a job in the Europa League. I'm a bit concerned with the fact we are asking Archie Gray to play in multiple positions at such a young age. Should we be developing him in one position at a time? Great question, and it's a good debate.
It is, yeah. I mean, I am, as you know, a big fan of Archie Gray. I think he has got the potential to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he is your Man United and a player.
He is a player that I'm just going to ignore you. He is a player who I think we should be saying, right, you are a ball-winning midfielder, or you're like a box-to-box midfielder, or depending on which one of those roles he wants him to play, the 6 or the 8, fine, and develop him there. I'm not a massive fan of he's playing right back, he's playing left back, he's playing centre back. He's a midfielder. Yeah. He's a midfielder. Leave him there. Please.
Would you prefer he sits on the bench then?
I get that's a worrying question in 2 different ways.
Okay. Why?
Firstly, if you're going to develop a player, you don't want him just sat on the bench.
No, you don't. That's why he's been playing him.
However, surely our other options at centre back and left and right back, surely the rotation options are better.
Not in Europe when we haven't got
any players. So yeah, that's where that worry is. That's what I mean. That's the worry is then the squad building. We've spoken about this before with the whole registration stuff. That we're having to play an 18-year-old centre midfielder at centre back, left back, and right back.
Yeah, I mean, look, he is someone who played basically the full season at right back for Leeds in the Championship. When we signed him, I genuinely thought we were signing a right back.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation where I was like really put out that they were actually, no, we're signing him as a midfielder. I'm like, we don't need a midfielder.
Yes.
Now, since then, you know, we got the Jed Spence redemption arc, which is great. But also, we're in a situation where now, like with the registration rules, which we're going to try and touch on a show next week. I'm reading up on it and I'm trying to get my head around it. But yeah. So
yeah. I started reading it, my brain hurt, and I stopped to wait. Yep, Sam is going to explain that way better.
Oh, cheers. So yeah, I mean, we had a couple of people come in about the financial stuff with Man City as well, and yeah, I can explain that. I'm not doing it today. So it is kind of there's two parts to this. One, probably one of the best coaches in the world in Pep Guardiola played Rico Lewis in every position imaginable, and now he's settled into one.
Yes.
He kept Phil Foden rather than loaning him out. And he's probably arguably last season definitely the best in his position on the planet.
Yep.
There are lots of different ways to develop players, and I don't think there's a right and I don't think there's a wrong way. Right now, he's 18 years old, and if he came through our academy, no one would be batting an eyelid that he's just getting minutes here, there, and everywhere. But the fact that we signed him for decent money, people are like, well, he should be playing where, he should be playing in his role. Well, what is that? We signed him and he played a season at right back.
Yeah,
but he's naturally a midfielder. So he currently, the most important thing for him is to be involved in the squad and picking up minutes. So that way, let's say Bentancur, who picks up a suspension soon, let's say Basuma gets injured, we know that Gray is up to speed. We know that he's going to come into that role, not been sat on the bench for weeks and weeks and weeks. He's going to be coming in match fit and focused and know the players around him.
Yeah.
I often, Eric Dyer is one of the more intelligent football players I've ever listened to being interviewed. And he talked so much about playing as a DM, defensive midfielder.
Yes.
And then how, when he then stepped back as a defender again, how much more time, just how different his perspective is on the game and how playing those different roles really helped him. A lot of players say a similar thing. So, there's no right or wrong answer here, I think. I think every individual player is different, and I think in this, what you have to do is trust the coaching team. I'd like to think they would not be doing it if they didn't feel and have the faith in this young player that he can do these roles. I feel he's been exposed a number of times in Europe as one of either right or left back. I feel like teams look at that and go, right, we can get in there because his positional sense isn't that great.
Yes,
but he's 18.
He's
18 years old and he's learning. And unfortunately, it's one of these things I talk about a lot, which is play the youth. Oh, look, they could score a goal because that fucking little kid ain't in the right place. Oh, why is he there? That's what happens. And some youth players will just shrink and never come back from that. They've obviously got faith in him and he's got a belief in himself, which he does appear to have. Where they're thinking, no, we can put him there because if things go wrong and everything, he's not going to shrink away. And if fans get on his back, he's not going to take it to heart. No. Whereas some people, it can wreck them. It can absolutely completely destroy them.
No, I agree.
And I talk about it a lot. Like, why ain't he playing this player? Why ain't he playing that player? Well, he's probably protecting him because he's nervous about the way people get treated now in the modern world, and how the younger players especially are more entrenched in social media. But anyway, so yeah, I don't think there's a right or a wrong on that. I think it's a case of keeping him involved. And sort of trying to develop, not so much developing him in a position right now, but just more about minutes and playing and learning.
Yeah.
Martin Hood says, our fan base, or so-called fans, always on players or managers' backs. Look, it got us to that he got us to fifth in the first season. Mourinho didn't, and Conte got us fourth with the best centre forward in the world in the team, which Ange doesn't have. If you look at Ange's record with Kane, it's 3 goals in 1 game. Yeah. Look, it's you're right, and I think this is a broader point where we all knew as fans that the squad under Pochettino had gone stale and there was an issue. When we lost that Champions League final, a lot of them mentally checked out, and they all have said it as well. A few of them had sort of gone over. Vertonghen was never the Super Jan really after that, and was kind of broken by it. You could see mentally he was like, why are people running around me so easily nowadays? I don't get it. And there was a lot of players that were just done and shouldn't have been there. The Ericsson situation, he should have gone a year earlier. There's loads of examples.
Yeah.
We all knew, thanks to him telling us, there needs to be a painful rebuild where we've put together a squad, we've developed, we've moved forward, we nearly achieved, but we didn't. Now we need to rebuild. The upper echelons of our football club went, no, we don't. We're really good. We just got to a Champions League final. You're the problem. Off you go. We're going to bring in a winner. And that went to shit.
That's up there with one of the worst decisions that I have lived through as a Tottenham fan. That really was.
Yeah. Now, that winner, that's won stuff everywhere he's ever been, didn't work out. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find somebody else. Couldn't find anybody. Ended up with Nuno. I'd play the music, but I don't know which button it is today.
We don't talk about Nuno.
Thank you. Yeah, excellent. Now, he then achieved. It was a nonsense. You might as well have called him the caretaker manager when he was appointed.
Yeah.
So it was absolute nonsense. Off he goes, and we are going to appoint another winner. A guy who's won stuff everywhere he's been. He's just one of the top coaches. Both with Jose and Conte and the other one. Well, not the other one actually, but with both with Jose and Conte, I surrendered all of my kind of footballing values, everything, just to go, okay, let's try. All right, I want to see us win something. These are the guys that win stuff. That's what everyone tells me.
Yeah.
The football was dreadful to watch. The narcissistic, over the top, I'm amazing, you're all friggin' lucky I'm here attitude from both of them was draining. Was like, Tottenham are shit. This football club is absolute wank. It never wins anything. I'm amazing. You are all lucky I'm here.
I remember when
that
Jose
kind of
gave
gaslighting
that speech about having Tottenham pyjamas and I'm all Tottenham for the club. And we all just went, no, you're not. You're Jose.
Yeah, no,
you're after Jose. There's no...
Yeah, and that's... Look, these guys have got massive egos because they have achieved things and everyone around them keeps telling them how amazing they are.
Yeah.
And they'll go on to win things and achieve things, and that's fine.
Apart from Jose, he's now struggling in Turkey.
Well, currently, yeah. But I mean, he did win. He won the Conference League.
Yeah.
So look, there's no doubt about it that this just played into this narrative. But as a football club, we were never win now kind of football. That's not ever been us in our entire history, let alone under Enoch and Levy.
Yeah.
So these guys were never going to be suited to that because they weren't going to walk in and go, right, Mr. Chairman, I need to spend 500 million to build a team to win something this season. And our chairman was going to go, done, here you go. Here's the checkbook.
Yeah, we can do that for you. No.
Never going to happen. So they tried to build a squad. So that means that rather than just having a stale squad that needed to be freshened up, we went through 4 years where 3 different failed visions of players being signed, which means we in our squad right now, not so much right now, but when Ange started, if you think about it, there were Pochettino players, Jose players, Nuno players who were signed for Nuno, and Conte players in that squad. It was a hodgepodge and a mess.
Yeah. And
even players that had been signed by a new sporting director in Sarr and Udogie, who had not really had any run or any chances at the club yet, were signed because they were like potential stars.
Yeah.
That just nobody, like Jed Spence, that's a club signing, Conte said, and he just never had a run, never had a chance.
Yeah.
So you've then got to try and bring all of that together, all of these players, plus overhauling the squad, because Ange's football is different to everybody we've had. For 4 years, this negative counter-attack bullshit, Ange's got to go, right, let's rip that up. That's not us anymore. We're back to dares to do. We are back to, EU dares Rodney. That's us.
Yeah.
This is how we play, mate. This is it. So you can change all of that and all of that. It's not going to happen in a window. It's not going to happen in 2 and it's probably not going to happen in a few years. But it's a big job. Like, it took us probably 5 seasons to go from being one of the best teams in the league to being mid-table. 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Why does everyone think that Ange in 1 and a bit seasons is going to take us back to where we were? It's a nonsense. There's no patience anymore. There's no kind of... Look at Arteta at Arsenal. His first 2 seasons, they finished 8th.
Yeah.
Why is... And would any Arsenal fan get rid of him now? And they were all calling for his head. But why can't people look at these things and go, yeah, you're right, he does need time to sort this shit out? Because we all know that for 4 years it was crap. We all know that the squad is all over the place. It's like so unbalanced, and he is gradually, every window, we are improving.
Players are going, players are coming in, he's getting more of his players in.
Yeah.
And, you've got to give him credit. He has given a chance to pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of players, I would say, that didn't get given an opportunity.
Didn't get given an opportunity playing, but they were definitely given an opportunity in training.
In training
and in
to show
pre-season
themselves and stuff.
friendlies.
Yeah. So he has given, he's given the chance. He's gone, right, okay, you don't work in my system, off you go. You don't work in the system, off you go. Right, we need this guy. Or, I think, less than that. It's not even the case of we need that guy. It's we need a player that can do this, this and this.
Yeah.
And I like that. I said before on the podcast, I like the fact that we are a bit more data-driven now. That we're not going, right, it is that player or nothing, and then at the end of the transfer window going, well, we couldn't sign that one player, so we haven't got someone. We now have, Van der Ven, 3rd choice centre-back on the list. One of the best centre-backs in the division.
Yeah.
I am happy with that structure, but like you say, it's going to take 3 to 4 windows to get the squad depth. We now know the starting 11 is pretty much where Ange wants it. What we also know is that on the bench, we have a couple of players that can come off the bench and do what Ange needs, but we need a bit more depth.
Yeah.
And that's going to take windows to get that. We know that. Every fan knows it's not going to happen overnight. Yet at the same time, we've just had a run of 5 games unbeaten. Ange Ball's back. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's not unbeaten. It was 5 wins.
Oh, 5 wins. 5 wins, yeah. And Ange is back. Ange Ball, yeah. We lose 1 game, we'll sack him. He hasn't got a plan B. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. The other comment on Facebook is from Salim. Salim basically is what we were just talking about, so apologies. He just basically says, look at Klopp at Liverpool. Tottenham fans need to be patient. And he's right.
And I've got to go back just quickly. Going back to the very first question we got. Ben Davis, yes, massively underrated. He is the ultimate professional. He's so underrated, we went another 15, 20 minutes before going back to it. Brilliant professional. Just don't worry about that. But I love Ben.
But he's also Welsh, so, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so we now have a comment from Instagram, and basically everyone can get to enjoy this.
Now it's time for a comment from Island Brother.
Woke up with a frost this morning, so this music's quite, tropical.
I've missed this.
Okay. Island Brother says, I'm actively planning to bet against Tottenham the next international break. I am supremely unlucky, so I'm hoping that will break the curse. Nice, yeah. I have a theory I need rational adult Tottenham fans to inspect.
Can't find me, but we'll do our best.
Is the aim... Yeah, I mean, I'm a Tottenham fan. Don't know if I'm competent. He's a Man United fan. So, is the aim of Levy to just sell? I mean, between the stadium, which pays for itself yearly and generates profit, new hotel, the fact that we don't accumulate debt at the end of any transfer windows, we are seemingly only interested in Champions League qualification and not actual trophies, quietly suppressed any fan groups who aren't woke, steadily discouraging loyal fans from purchasing season tickets. Is Levy just making this business, in air quotes, the most appealing it can look to potential investors for the big sale? It would line up perfectly with the actions the club seem to be making regardless of the discontent of the fan base. Keep doing what you do and come on you Spurs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a question, isn't it?
So, I can say from first-hand knowledge, the club are actively seeking investment. And when you are actively seeking investment, you do make yourself look as attractive as humanly possible. You know, that's the way that works for business.
Yeah.
I will say that regardless of presentation right now, Tottenham Hotspur, Sports Limited and everything, is ridiculously profitable in the sense of the stadium really was a game changer for us. Not on the pitch, right? Then we were all promised. And there was a certain tweet the other day which I know pissed a lot of people off, which I'll circle back to in a second.
Okay.
But the profit generation from that, like that just said, with all the events and everything it can hold, it pays for itself.
Yeah.
Which means that every single season, it's now a profit hub for the football club. Now, do you know about the tweet that pissed a lot of people off?
No, I don't.
So Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has its own social media for the stadium.
Amazing.
So obviously when there's events and stuff, it does ticketing, information and everything that's going on. And obviously currently in this international break is the NFL doubleheader.
Yes.
And it did this great time-lapse video of when the stadium's changing from soccer to football, right?
Yep.
And it does it every time like this. And the tweet said, the only purpose-built NFL stadium outside of America.
It's not a purpose-built NFL stadium. It's a purpose-built football stadium that can convert into NFL. I can understand why that would piss people off. Yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, that is badly worded to say the least, isn't it?
Is it badly worded or is it accurate?
Jesus Christ.
Is that what it is?
Oh.
Yeah, so there you go. So that upset some people.
That's bullshit. No, that's upset me, that is. That's bullshit. No. It's a fucking football stadium that we can do concerts and other events in. Our football, stadium, not their football.
Oh, yeah, but it's the only purpose-built NFL stadium outside of America. Purpose-built, and it is purpose-built. It's got NFL changing rooms built into it. It's got the pitch. In theory, yeah, that is accurate.
Fuck's sake.
So,
I apologise for my language, but for fuck's sake.
Yeah. It's alright, you don't have to apologise for your language all the time, it's okay.
That's awful. That's an awful thing to put out.
Yeah.
I'm searching it now because I want to comment to it.
Well, you carry on. That's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Twitter is where I saw it. So, it's time for the much requested and much forgotten, because it takes me ages to do, loan update.
Now it's time for the loan update.
Do you know, when I was putting this together, I was thinking to myself, I basically just read this out. Like, I just kind of like, oh, this player's at this club and this is kind of how they're doing. And I was thinking, I've got to find a way of making this more interesting. And do you know, like, do you remember years ago, and they might still do it now, but I don't listen to it, they used to have like the chart music. Da, 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 da,
Oh, yeah.
like that, yeah. I was kind of thinking I ought to grab that as like a bed, and I ought to try and time the loan update to it, like currently number 5 game or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Lone player number 1. Yeah, I don't know.
I like that.
So, we're going to start the loan update in Belgium with a club called Westerlo, where we have both Alfie Devine, aged 20, and Luka Vuskovic, aged 17. Alfie Devine's been out there a little while. He's played 4 games, and what is interesting is he's playing in a much deeper role. Now, Alfie, for me, has always been a sort of number 10 attacking midfielder. He is very much playing a sort of sitting, box-to-box kind of role there, and he's played 4 games, done fairly well. Fan reactions positive. He should get a lot of games there this season, which is what we wanted. Luka Vuskovic, 17 years old, central defender.
Yes.
Has played 10 times. Is defending brilliantly, but he's grabbing headlines because he's played 10 games as a central defender, scored 4 and got 1 assist.
That's not bad stats, is it?
17 years old, and I'd like to point out, of all our players out on loan, including strikers, he's got the most goals.
That's not bad for a centre-back, is it?
Yeah. Now, if anyone wants fun, VUSKOVIC, put it into any sort of social media to find him, and you'll find a compilation of this kid scoring goals. It's fun. And he is only 17. He turns 18 and then he's eligible to come across to here. It will be very interesting to see what happens next with him.
When you say fun, I'm guessing these aren't just a corner comes in, he nods it in from 6 yards and goes, yay.
Well,
I'm guessing there's some good ones.
There's an element of that. But you look at the size of him, for one, when he's playing, and then you got to remember he's 17.
Yeah.
So when he stood there and he's like basically making other senior professionals look like mere mortals in the presence of a god. Like when Haaland stands next to a regular sized person.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
That's what Thor looks like if he came to Earth.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
I am quite excited by his signing. I think he could be a really talented player for us.
It is exciting. He has been identified and looks very good. Now, heading from Belgium, we're off to sunny Spain and Espanyol, where young Alejandro Vilis, 21 years old, has played 9 games for Espanyol, scoring 1 goal. Picking up a few bookings, by the way. A fiery little git. It's all about game time for him this season, so the fact he's played 9 games is excellent. Espanyol, not exactly one of the top sides, so yeah, he's all about game time. A player who basically the club have decided is done, but we're trying to find an exit for him on a permanent basis, is Brian Gill. He is 23 years old, just as a reminder, and he's currently at Girona. My Girona.
That is exactly what came into my head.
He has played 9 games as well, also scoring 1 goal. Interestingly for Brian, his luck has not changed. He got called up into the Spain squad because of his form. Well done, Brian Hill. He then got injured and had to pull out. So his luck has not changed at all. Poor bastard. Another player that is basically recovering from a very, very serious injury, and the club basically wanted to give him a season to see what he could do before making a decision, is Manor Solomon. 25 years old, and he's had a couple of injuries since joining Leeds. Sort of typical injuries when you've had like a career ender, which is basically what he had, so a potential career ender.
Yes.
You then get loads of like muscle injuries on your way back, and he sort of struggled with a few of those. But his actual stats at Leeds are 2 games, 1 assist. So he's just kind of going to get started. So Leeds are on TV constantly because Sky are in love with them. So if you get the opportunity, you'll watch him and see how he's doing in the Championship.
He's a player, he's a player who I think could be really good if he can recover the form before the injury.
Well, this is why the loan. There was no... if someone had come in with money, serious money, the club probably would have considered it in the summer, but it was more a case of, look, you need to play. not sit on a bench. Come on, maybe try and get minutes here and there. You need to go and play a season. Championship's a bloody tough league.
Definitely going to toughen you up. If you can survive a season there, then yeah, your injury's recovered. Yeah.
Yeah. Dane Scarlett, age 20, is having a shit time, to be honest with you, at Oxford. He's played 5 league games only, he's not scored, and he's very much bit part. I don't know what's going on there.
Didn't they change manager? Like, didn't he sign for one and then they pretty much changed the manager instantly?
Well, if that happened, which I genuinely don't know, then his luck's shit, because that happened to him last year.
Maybe it was last season I knew about then. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. What I do know is I keep going to look to see if he's playing, and he's not. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's something I'm sure the club are monitoring closely. A player, again, I was expecting to be getting a lot of game time is Phillips. Ashley Phillips, 19 years old.
Yep.
He's only played 1 league game for Stoke so far, but then I looked into it. He suffered a concussion, but he is coming back now, so hopefully we're going to see him get a lot more game time. Leighton Orient have 2 of our players in Jamie Donnelly and Josh Keeley. Josh Keeley's a goalkeeper, 21 years old.
Yep.
He's basically their backup keeper. He's on the bench. He's played 1 game for them in the League Cup. And Jamie Donnelly, 7 games in, no goals or assists yet, but game time. That's what is key for Jamie.
Yeah.
And you keep an eye on him. He will pick up goals and assists. I'm convinced of it. Just once he gets going, he'll be great. Another lad from the academy, Matthew Craig, age 21, 9 league games, 2 cup games. If he's fit, he starts for Barnsley, and he's having a great loan. Yeah. The fans love him. He's really stuck in. Probably with Matthew, he's playing for a move now. At 21, he isn't factoring at all in our first team plans.
Is he one of the twins?
Yeah, but we sold his twin
last
a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew and Michael, I think it was, and it used to really piss me off because they were both M. Craig. Yeah. So I had to constantly try and work out which one it was. So I blame the parents. Then we got George Abbott. George Abbott is 19. He's played 7 league games, 1 cup game for Notts County. Again, if he's fit, he's playing, and he is doing very well. So you want to keep an eye out for him as well. And then finally, a goalkeeper, Kerry Blodern, 19 years old. He's started every game for Averley in the National League South. For goalkeepers to be starting, you kind of really need to look for a loan for him. So the club have done this, and he's going to play every game. He is a level for them. He is going to play every game. So that is key for a goalkeeper, as we all know. And he's playing in a tough lower league. It's going to be a hell of an experience for him. But that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 players out on loan.
Of course, there's a couple of players, and I forget we sold them, not loaned them. Yeah.
Well,
I was waiting for like Santiago, and I'm like, oh no, we sold him.
Well, technically, Højbjerg's a loan until it becomes permanent, but I'm not talking about him.
No, fair enough. Don't blame you.
So I want to finish with something.
Yes.
If you'll indulge me.
Depends what it
there's
is.
a hell of a lot is being said about we're not improving. This is Ange's 2nd season, and I think everyone was expecting some sort of monumental leap forward.
Yep.
So I thought to myself, well, I personally feel like I can see improvements. And what I mean by improvements is in the results, but also in the sense of I don't like everyone keeps saying, oh, we're conceding so many goals, and I'm like, I don't feel like we're as open. I don't feel like we're as bad. I feel like last season there was a hell of a lot of kind of hammerings, if that makes sense. I don't feel like we're getting that now. I just feel like, yeah, we're playing the way we play. We're always going to concede opportunities, and but that's the same with a lot of top sides. And so it's to me, it's kind of like I look at this and I think, am I seeing improvements? Am I mad? So I thought, well, what I'd do is I'd look at the games we've had this season and look back to last season to compare them, like a direct comparison.
Okay.
So the very first game of the season was Leicester. Now, obviously, I can't do a comparison for last year because they were in the Championship. We drew that. That was frustrating. But the next game was Everton. Everton at home.
Yes.
We won that game 4-0.
We did, yeah.
Last season was also a victory. At home, we beat them 2-1. So, just asking you, just simply, is that an improvement?
Yes.
Okay. The next game, we lost away at Newcastle 2-1.
Yep.
Last season, we lost away at Newcastle 4-0.
We are getting better.
Steph, I'm just... yeah, don't ruin my gimmick.
Okay,
right?
sorry.
So shut up.
Sorry.
This last season, we lost 4-0. So, Steph, I'm just going to put it to you. Do you think that's an improvement?
It is.
Okay, all right, just interesting. Now, this season, we lost at home to Arsenal 1-0. Now, last season, we lost at home to Arsenal 3-2, but I will just point out, because I know it's still only a 1-goal margin, but not only did we concede more, but also we were 3-0 down and hammered and dead, and they switched off when we got 2 goals, by the way.
Yeah.
They'd gone on holiday. Unlike us, they didn't concede the third and the fourth, but, you know, they still won. So, again, would you consider that an improvement or stay the same? And you can say stay the same.
I would stay the same on that one because I was really disappointed with our performance.
Okay. Last season we beat Brentford 3-1 at home. Sorry, this season we beat Brentford 3-1 at home. Last season we beat them 3-2. Hung on.
Yeah.
Last season we drew 2-2 at Old Trafford. This season we fucking hammered them 3-0. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I know that's going to upset you, but
it's going to be an ongoing.
That's an improvement.
That is an improvement. Yeah,
that's an improvement. Last season we lost 4-2 at Brighton. This season we lost 3-2 at Brighton. And I also want to point out that we were awful there last season.
Yeah, I remember
for the whole game.
We were as well. So for that one, I'm going to say 45 minutes worth of improvement.
Well, it's an improvement.
Yeah.
4-2 loss, 3-2 loss is an improvement. All right. So I know that sounds really simplistic, and I know you can look at that and go, well, basically the points are basically the same. Yeah, you're right. But we're ahead. Like, to me, like, people keep saying there's no signs of anything. There's no this, there's no that. We're not improving. Ange needs, whatever. There's a created narrative amongst people, and there's a great impatience amongst people that it needs to be now. Ange sums it up quite brilliantly himself. Is like, well, look, football fans are going to feel what they're going to feel.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And he's okay with it.
Yep.
He understands it. But this kind of winning 5 games shouldn't be dismissed. 5 games in a row across all competitions, victories, shouldn't be dismissed for 45 minutes of shit.
No.
What should happen is Ange now, I think, was rocked by that, and he's going to really lay into this team of, like, that can't happen again. Now, if we as a fan base for the rest of this season, I mean, I'm still going to have terrible anxiety because it's Tottenham, but if just imagine for the rest of this season we never see a second half like that again, that's improvement.
Yes.
That is a switch or something that they've learnt from. And to a certain extent, if shit goes wrong and the team does learn from it, does improve, does get better, does put that to rest, then it's almost worth that awful day to improve to go forward.
Yeah.
If it doesn't improve, and at the end of this season, on a regular basis in the second half, we've capitulated, then you've got 2 choices. You either look at the manager and the coaching team and say, what are you doing? Because clearly it's not working.
Yep.
Or they continue to look at this squad and you go, right, some of you who I felt were buying into this and were good aren't, because you're switching off. And you can be the best player on the planet, but if you are going to keep switching off for me, you need to go.
If you're not going to give me 98 minutes normally now of full
yeah,
quality,
then you're a waste of space.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, I personally would rather the club sticks with a manager and does that than swap the manager again and us start the rebuild all over again. Because that's what would happen. Any coach that comes into this setup will want his players to play his way and to do things like that.
Which, thinking about it, is a really stupid thing. 'Cause that's going to cost you a fortune every couple of seasons. To keep rebuilding is going to cost you more money than to just back the manager and get him a couple of players that he needs.
Yeah. But here's the thing I'm going to finish on for everyone to think about. It's our fault. Fans love signings. Fans love excitement of buying players. Fans...
Transfer deadline day. Yeah.
Fans are the reason that managers get sacked. Daniel Levy, right now, has got no reason to sack Ange Postecoglou at all.
No.
But if the fan hatred and anger starts to become booing in the stadium, starts to boil over, get Ange out chant, stuff like that, he's got no choice.
Well, that was pretty much the reason Nuno got sacked, was when he took he took off Lucas Moura, didn't he? And the whole crowd started cheering, chanting, "You don't know what you're doing." And that was it. That was game over.
He was done.
Yeah.
He was done. There's literally an account of Levy, I think, looking to Paratici and Paratici going, "Yeah, I know," and walking off ready to get someone else in. Like, literally, they were at the stadium and they looked at each other and he went, "Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it hasn't worked. We got to swap him."
Yeah.
So, what I mean is, like, fans are the problem. We have no patience. And yet, we are the ones who will get aggravated when the new manager comes in, whoever he is, and says, "I need time." Ange has come in and said, "I need time. This ain't going to happen overnight. I back myself. I'm a winner. In my second season, I win things." That's not a lie. That's not like bravado. That's not, "I'm going to do it here." I'm just telling you, that's what I do. Yeah. That's what I'm aiming to do. He said last season he felt like he failed. I felt it was a perfectly good first season, but in his mind, I didn't win anything. I'm a failure that season.
And that's the
if I don't win anything this year. And that is his mentality, and that's it. So what more do we want? We're playing good football. We've got a manager who is driven to win and feels that he is a failure when he doesn't. He's not looking at last season as a good first season.
No.
He's looking at it as I failed. I'm looking at it going, well, that's the first season, I get it. I know that we have to rebuild this squad. I know that it's still nowhere near done. You talked about Ben Davies, consummate refresher, wonderful. He shouldn't be at the football club anymore. I like Ben Davies. I got nothing against him. He was signed by Pochettino with one of his first windows. He's been at the club for 10 years. That's wonderful. Great servant. Does he suit Ange? No.
No.
Is he or should he be really a Premier League left-sided centre-back? Not for me. Not outside of playing a back five anyway. I think left side of a three, yeah. But is a four? No. Not for me. I don't think he has it. We compare him to Van der Ven.
No, chalk and cheese. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, he shouldn't be at the club anymore. But it's a transition. It is not... You look at the amount of players we bombed out this summer, and yet we still have squad issues. Like big-time squad issues where we can't fill our Europa League squad correctly. We can't get everything done. It's because we are having to look at it and go, okay, we got to take the opportunity to move this person on. We got to move them out because they're not right for the club anymore. Davies is like, do you know what? He's a consummate professional. He doesn't let anybody down. He knows the club inside out. If there isn't a move for him right now, he's fine. Like, we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Tanguy Ndombele, do we want him sulking around the place? No.
Get that guy out. Pay it out.
He's got to go. Yeah. Shafit Tanganga, come through the academy, loyal, loves the place, doesn't suit Ange ball, doesn't fit, so he has to go. Skip, desperate to leave to play first team football, he had to go. No one at the club wanted, as a squad building exercise, for Oliver Skip to leave.
No.
But Ange knew he wasn't a starter for him, and the player knew that, despite working his ass off to develop. He turned around and went, yeah, no, I need to play. Yeah. And we're not going to stand in his way, which I like. I like that we weren't going to do that, because Skip's career could have just died because we needed a club trained player.
He could have spent the next 3 seasons just sat on a bench. Or not even
just making up squad numbers, yeah. Just basically for Europa League, showing up on the bench for the Europa League, and it would have been painful for me to see. So there are so many aspects to this, like Kane leaving. No one seems to be... Everyone's like, oh my God, this, that and the other. Everyone's judging Ange against these managers we've had over the last however many years. All of them had arguably the best striker in the world.
Yeah.
Ange, in the first season, basically didn't have a striker. Richie was injured.
A lot.
When he played, he did well, but he was injured a lot. Sonny struggling in and out also with injury. But we all know is far more effective coming off the left than he is centrally. He genuinely is.
Yep.
Johnson was his first season with us, and now I think we've seen genuinely is more effective coming off the right. You know, we've seen this now. Kulusevski was trying to help work. The guy's a workhorse, but isn't a striker. Solanke's come in this season, and now he's fit. The difference is phenomenal. Solanke is winning me over, but he isn't Harry Kane.
No.
And that's not a criticism to Solanke. Harry Kane is just on another level. And we were lucky to have that for as long as we did. We really were. But for people to just keep doing these constant, like, oh, we're not this, we're not that, you've got to think about the level of transition we are having to make. And changing the squad and everything is happening, and we're seeing it. Changing the culture, changing the apathy that seems to surround this football club is clearly going to take longer. And I think as fans, we need to realise we need to back someone to do that and not keep demanding success now or gone. Because let's say that we fire him, like so many people are saying we should.
Who's going to come in and make it any better?
Even if even if in your mind you've got someone, right? Let's say Graham Potter, who's currently hanging over the league like a sword of Damocles. He's now working pundit work, clearly wanting a job, just like Jose did when Pochettino was struggling. He was on Sky slagging him off and then took his job. Potter isn't doing that, but he's available now. Everyone can see him. Good, young English manager who went to Chelsea, didn't work out, but someone else is going to give him a chance. We know that, and he'll do well. But even if you pick someone, whoever comes in is going to have their system, their style of play. This is what we do. Yep. This is how we do it. This player works, this player doesn't. This player... And also, all it'll do to the players in the squad will be like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Pochettino came in, Aaron Lennon, who I love as a player?
I'll be here longer
you
than
love as
you.
a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to do double sessions because you'll be gone in a few months and I'll still be here. There is a Tottenham ingrained thing that they know success isn't a priority, and when the going gets tough, the fans will turn on the manager, not the players, and the manager will be gone. It's an inbuilt thing. We have got to stop this. We have to just go.
Get that kind of as a club, like literally from the boardroom all the way down to the fans in the terrace, and the fans are on it in the pub watching. How do you shift?
To be blunt, and as much as this hurts me, we need to emulate Arsenal. They ignored it.
Yeah.
All of the Arsenal fan TV bullshit, all of the fan groups, all of these. I mean, there's loads of them now, and I know I'm a podcaster, so it sounds like pot kettle much. But you think about it.
Yeah.
You listen to all of that narrative that exists, and people do listen to it. People listen to podcasts, they listen to shows, they watch the YouTubers, they watch all these different things. They're all going, oh, what you doing, Ange? Then it becomes a thing like, yeah, what is he doing? And it becomes this growing frustration. Arsenal ignored it.
Yeah.
Their fans booed it at half-time, booed it full-time. They finished 8th for 2 years in a row, but they knew... This is a big squad overhaul we got to do. This is a big thing, and we actually trust this guy because we can see where this is going. We can see the improvements. Our board needs to grow a set and do the same thing. They need to look at that and go, no. You can shout all you want. You can scream all you want. You can stamp your feet. You can boo. You can get your head up your ass. We think we're backing ourselves. We are backing the decision we've made. And we're backing the man we've picked.
And like you say, as long as we can see that there is progression on the pitch, in the results and in the style of play and in the mentality, then, why...
The style of play has happened.
Yep.
Surely there's no one who could look at this and say, oh no, I much prefer the counter-attack, boring, 10 men behind the bullshit. No one should.
If you do prefer that, please don't go to a match.
Oh, if you do prefer that, please support someone else. Yeah. Because you deserve to be bored.
Yeah.
I look at this and I go, right, so that is undoubtedly changed and improved and is better under Ange. Without a doubt.
Yep.
So where are we at as a squad? That is still a work in progress, but again, it's better. I think our squad is better.
Yes.
And is every window getting better again. I think the signings we're making, the right areas, Does it go as far as I'd like? No, because I'm a fan. I want that guy. But
100%.
it is still, when I look at it objectively, every window we're improving, and that's what you got to aim for.
Yeah.
So the metrics again comes back to results. We just walked through the same results compared to last year, and the majority were the same or better.
Yeah.
So again, that's the next metric.
That's the improvement we need. Yeah.
So the points side of it, that's about the same. So we need to improve that. But if we get a run of games where, like we just won 5 games in a row, let's say we win the next 5 league games, all of a sudden we fly up the table, and everyone suddenly is wonderful.
All of a
let's
sudden,
say we lose
it's back
the
to
next...
the disco at White Hart Lane, isn't it, that we had last season? Yeah.
And let's say we lose the next 5 games. It is going to be awful. It will be toxic and terrible.
Lose
and
the
this
next
is where
2 games. Like, the fans turn so quick. It's like...
But my point is 5,
Yeah.
and we would be firing a manager.
Right, yeah.
We lose our next 5 league games, we're in a relegation fight, and this club will fire a manager.
Yeah.
My point, and my thing I need everyone to really look at is, one, I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, just fucking hold your nerve. Please.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're starting again. And every time we start again, we have to do that, okay, we're rebuilding, we need time. And the fans are fed up of that. All of us are fed up of always building, never achieving.
Yeah. Agreed.
But we don't let the person build. Like, that whole thing, let him cook. That whole thing, like the young people say. Freaking let him finish the meal. Not just let him cook, let him actually finish a meal for once.
Yeah.
Let him serve it. Let him cook, let him actually serve the damn meal. Let's eat it. Let's enjoy it. All we are doing, using that analogy, is getting someone in, starting a meal, and then bumping them before they can finish it.
Dessert? No, off you go.
We have a restaurant full of cold soup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, look, that's my feeling on it, and I hope that that's resonated with a few people. But get in touch, let us know your thoughts. You can get in touch via the social media. We're on Instagram, where Lovely Laura's there. Lovely Laura gets married very soon, so if you get time, wish her well for her wedding via Instagram. She'd appreciate that. Her OnlyFans is still going up until the wedding day as well, so see if you can get a discount code. Wonderful scenes on that. Polynesian Dan on Facebook, you can get in touch there. I'm on Twitter. Steph doesn't have a job really with us. He doesn't really do. Do you want to do TikTok, by the way? Because I think you'd quite like TikTok. TikTok's basically just about winding up other fans.
No, but you're so good at that. You're good at winding up our own fans. Like, I'm not a freaking United fan. But,
Yes. Do you class yourself more West Ham than United then?
No.
Okay, alright, I'll take that. Alright, fair enough.
Definitely
Anyway,
not.
I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for getting in touch when you do. We really appreciate it. Sorry this show's a little bit longer. We will be back next week again. I know it's still the international break, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the squad building aspect. And obviously, it's Tottenham. Anything could happen in a week in this football club, so we'll talk about any of the events that are going on. So would you like to say goodbye to all the lovely people?
Goodbye to all the lovely people and to everyone else.
Yeah, and to everyone else. And of course, at the end of every podcast now, I'm going to say thank you to Beyonce.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.